Yeah, I hate just Paddy. I hate Paddy.
Yeah.
I wish it was Oliveira fighting with Gaethje or someone different, but not Paddy. I hate that guy. Justin, if you need the help, let me know. I'll fly to you and help you.
Really?
I mean, I want him to win, you know. That guy, I hate him.
Arman Tsarukyan is feeling absolutely and utterly frustrated, and frankly, who can blame him? He feels like he's not getting a title shot despite doing all the grueling hard work that's required to earn one. But what makes it even worse? What really adds salt to the wound is that Arman is beyond angry that Paddy Pimblett is getting this golden opportunity instead, a fighter he completely and vocally hates. Arman Tsarukyan didn't mince words, claiming that the only reason Paddy Pimblett landed a title fight is because of his popularity, not his actual merit in the cage. He strongly suggested that Paddy's massive fan base, his marketability, or maybe just the UFC's own internal preference played a much bigger role in this decision than his actual resume. In Arman's eyes, this implies the whole thing was driven by business and pay-per-view numbers rather than pure sporting achievement.
It's the same. He has like a followers or whatever, or his country is big, or I don't know, UFC likes him so much, or he's selling, or what he's doing, I don't know. So he got his title fight because of that.
Arman made it crystal clear that he has a profound dislike for Paddy Pimblett, and he laid out a chillingly specific game plan for what would happen if they ever fought. He declared that his only goal would be to brutally maul Paddy on the ground with a relentless barrage of elbows. To put this in perspective, he explained that when he fought a tough veteran like Dan Hooker, he was actively debating his options, thinking about whether to go for a choke or finish the fight with those elbows. But when it comes to Paddy, he wouldn't even for a second consider a submission. His plan is pure punishment. He would just elbow him all day and all night until his face was completely covered in blood. It's a statement that really shows the depth of his animosity.
The one to do it to him, like to beat Paddy.
Yeah, oh my God. I would just maul his face on the ground just with my elbows. When I fought with Hooker, I was thinking, what should I do when I was on the top? Should I choke him, or I just should like elbow him? But with Paddy, I'm not gonna for the choke. I'm gonna just elbow him all day, all night, just make his face like.
Leading up to the fight, Arman Tsarukyan is just completely going off on Paddy Pimblett, making it absolutely clear to anyone listening that he has zero respect for the man. He flat out said he can't stand Paddy and genuinely wishes anyone else, were fighting Gaethje instead. The animosity is so intense that Arman even added that he doesn't want to attend the event in person. And why? Because he's worried that if he sees Paddy face to face, he might actually confront him right then and there. He even joked, or maybe he wasn't joking, about giving him a real slap, saying he'd show Paddy the kind of powerful strike that he believes he truly deserves.
There's a saying that like, don't hate the player, hate the game. But you hold it personally against Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, I hate just Paddy. I hate Paddy.
Yeah.
I wish it was Oliveira fighting with Gaethje or someone different, but not Paddy. I hate that guy.
Will you be at the fight? I imagine you'll go to January 24th. Yeah, you think you'll be there?
I don't want to be there because I'm gonna fight with somebody there. Because if I see Paddy, I would like to slap him. Not slap like slapping Ilya, but real Armenian slap. Maybe this is Spanish slap, like when they put on the neck, that's the slap. I'll show him like a real slap.
Meanwhile, you have other fighters in the division like Renato Moicano, who expressed his complete surprise and confusion that Paddy Pimblett received a title shot without ever defeating a single opponent ranked in the top 15. He didn't hold back, calling the decision fundamentally unfair. He pointed out that Pimblett's most recent wins came against fighters who were already on losing streaks, like Michael Chandler and Bobby Green. Moicano is essentially asking the question on everyone's mind: how on earth could someone earn a shot at the title under those kinds of circumstances? It just doesn't add up from a competitive standpoint.
What do you think of everything that happened? Who's getting the title shots or whatnot?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't feel that's fair, you know? But we live in a world that is not fair, you know? Giving a title to Paddy Pimblett, a title shot, is unbelievable.
Someone that's easy money.
Easy fucking money. And let me tell you something, brother. Who he beat on the division? Michael Chandler, coming off 5 losses. Tony Ferguson, 8 losses. Bobby Green, coming off 3 losses. And who he beat on the top 15? Nobody. Nobody.
Renato Moicano also believes that the moment Arman Tsarukyan missed his scheduled fight with the champion Islam Makhachev, it threw the entire lightweight division into a state of total chaos. He argued that the whole division could have progressed logically and moved forward if Arman had just fought for the title as planned. But now, with the new champion Ilia Topuria dealing with personal issues and outright refusing to fight, this Gaethje vs Pimblett interim title fight makes very little sense to him. Moicano went so far as to call it a paper champ situation, seriously questioning the need for another interim belt when Topuria is, for all intents and purposes, the rightful and available champion.
This is Arman fought, this is Topuria fought, this is, you know, when I fought Makhachev, Arman was supposed to fight for the title and he fucked up the division, that's the truth, you know?
Yeah.
If he had fought that night, the division would keep going, but now we have Topuria going through divorce or something like that, he doesn't want to fight, but it is what it is. They have Justin Gaethje vs Paddy Pimblett. To me, this is going to be the paper champ, that, you know, that's not a undisputed champ, and doesn't make any sense to do this interim belt because Topuria will be the champion anyways.
Yeah.
So whoever gets the belt now have to face Topuria for the unification of the belt. So to me personally, doesn't make any sense. The fight should be #1 contender. But why UFC did that? Because they solve a lot of problems with that, because Justin Gaethje was saying if he didn't get the title shot, he would retire.
On the other hand, Arman Tsarukyan himself revealed some fascinating inside information, stating that the UFC's original grand plan was to book Paddy Pimblett against Ilia Topuria back in January. He explained that he was already well aware that the promotion desperately wanted that specific matchup, so he didn't expect his own situation to change, not even after his incredibly dominant and impressive win over Dan Hooker. Why? Because the UFC's plans were already set in motion. According to Arman, everything shifted dramatically, only when Ilia unexpectedly pulled out of his fight, forcing the UFC to scramble and move in a completely different direction.
I already knew that Paddy gonna fight with Ilia Topuria in January, but I didn't know they're gonna do interim title versus Gaethje and Paddy. But I knew that UFC wants to do Ilia versus Paddy, and on my mind, I didn't think like it's something happened even if I knock him out, because they already set up that all things. But at the end of the day, Ilia didn't fight.
Arman Tsarukyan firmly believes that the promotion is strategically elevating Paddy Pimblett, essentially fast-tracking him to create a massive high-profile money fight against Ilia Topuria, and in this whole process, he feels like he is being completely cast aside, ignored, despite his unwavering confidence that he can beat absolutely anyone in the division. Arman went on to call both Paddy and Justin Gaethje easy matchups and said that even the champion Ilia wouldn't truly challenge him. He noted that the only fighter who has ever been a genuinely tough opponent for him was Islam Makhachev, and that right now, no one else in the entire lightweight division is currently on his level.
I think this is UFC game plan. It's not like a family issue or something. It's they want to make star Paddy Pimblett and to bring him to fight for the title with Topuria has a bigger name and make it like a big fight, like Khabib versus Conor. But they're not, even if he got the belt. They know I could beat everybody, that's why they didn't give me title fight. Paddy, for me, it's a easy work. Justin, it's a easy work. Ilia, easy work. It was a hard work, Islam, but he left. So nobody on my level on this division right now.
However, from the other side of the cage, Paddy Pimblett is absolutely thrilled about this incredible opportunity and has already set some incredibly ambitious goals for the year 2026. He's laid out a clear roadmap for his future. First, he plans to capture the interim title by defeating Justin Gaethje. Then his next move is to challenge Ilia Topuria to become the one and only undisputed champion. And after achieving all of that, he says he wants to face Arman Tsarukyan as well, making it perfectly clear that he will take that fight if Arman has the guts to step into the cage with him.
First ever time when we fought in January, the earliest I've ever fought. It's going to ruin my Christmas dinner and my birthday because I'm 31 like 3 weeks before it. But it's all going to be worth it when I lift that real title above my head and Paddy the Baddie is a world champion. And 2026 is going to be the biggest year of my life. I am coming for that interim title. Then I'll be making it the undisputed title when I come and beat Ilia Topuria up and take the undisputed title. And then little posh boy, if he manages to fight in that time, because he likes sitting out and saying he's got a sore back, if little posh boy fights in that time and keeps his ranking, I'll punch his head in as well.
Moreover, in a fascinating twist, Arman Tsarukyan actually wants Justin Gaethje to beat Paddy Pimblett at UFC. He dismissed Paddy as an easy fight who the UFC artificially built up, but he expressed a genuine hope that a veteran like Justin will go in there, completely dominate the fight, and make everyone forget all about Paddy. The reason? Because, as Arman sees it, the real contenders fighters like himself are just sitting on the sidelines, watching and patiently waiting for their moment to shine.
It's a business to build Paddy and make him easy fights, but I hope Justin gonna beat his ass, kick his ass, and we're gonna fight about Paddy all our life. They gave him easier because they know he's gonna lose to Ilya, and the real fighters like me just watching and waiting our time, you know.
In an even more surprising move, Arman Tsarukyan went so far as to offer his support to Justin Gaethje as he prepares for his interim lightweight title fight against Paddy Pimblett. He said he is genuinely willing to fly out and help Gaethje train for the fight, emphasizing that he believes this could be Gaethje's final ultimate opportunity to win the interim belt, fight for the undisputed title, and finally finish his legendary career on a high note. It's a moment of pure respect as Arman acknowledged Gaethje's dedication and focus, even though they are direct rivals in the same division.
Justin, if you need the help, let me know. I'll fly to you and help you.
Really?
I mean, I want him to win, you know. That bullshit guy, I hate him. But I hope Justin Gaethje not gonna drink, party, gonna train, dedicate himself, be focused. It's his last chance in this life. He's fighting he was fighting for the title maybe 5 times. So this is his chance, and the end of his career, win the interim title, fight for the real title, and then retire. That's the best for him.
Meanwhile, former champion TJ Dillashaw weighed in, and he believes that Ilia Topuria is actively avoiding a fight with Arman Tsarukyan. He explained that while Ilia is undeniably one of the most skilled and dangerous fighters in the entire UFC right now, Arman presents a truly unique and formidable threat. Dillashaw pointed to Arman's combination of size, raw strength, incredibly precise boxing, and his powerful grappling game, all of which come together to make him a very, very challenging matchup for anyone, including the champion.
For Topuria,
Ilya has expressed interest about moving up and maybe trying to face Makhachev. How realistic is this scenario, do you think? Does it leave Tsarukyan in limbo at lightweight?
Stupid. He's not moving up. Like, come on. There's too many horses in the stable at 170. Yeah.
Is he trying to run from Arman? Is Ilya running from Arman?
I do think so.
okay, that's legit.
Hello.
But with that said, I think that Ilia Topuria.
Who wouldn't want to run from Arman? Have you seen him before?
I'm running from him currently. I don't even know the guy I'm running from.
I do think Ilia Topuria is the highest skilled fighter in the UFC right now, but I do think he is threatened by Arman. Arman's big, he's strong, he's great to weight class. His boxing is clean, great grappling. It's a tough fight for him to where he can go to 70s. Maybe he doesn't get the win. It doesn't make sense to me. The only fight for Ilia Topuria right now is Arman.
Furthermore, veteran MMA journalist Ariel Helwani has also sharply criticized the Gaethje versus Pimblett interim title fight, questioning the logic behind it. He can't understand why Arman Tsarukyan, who is widely considered the top contender, is being so blatantly overlooked. He called the matchup makeshift and likened it to a BMF-style spectacle fight rather than a legitimate title eliminator. He specifically noted that an interim belt isn't even necessary since the champion Ilia Topuria has already reclaimed the championship. Helwani argued that the UFC simply should have waited to schedule a proper #1 contender bout later in the year and is left asking, what more does Arman have to do to finally earn his shot?
The #1 contender at 155 pounds is a guy named Arman Tsarukyan, and he's not involved in this fight. This is a makeshift fight. This is as prestigious as a BMF title. God bless. I said I wanted to see Paddy fight for the belt. God bless. But this is a bogus fight, and it's insane to me that it is headlining over Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. On paper, Paddy vs. Justin is a fine fight to determine the #1 contender to fight Ilia and or Arman. Ilia won that belt back in June. I don't even think you need an interim title fight. Honestly, it should have been the co-main event, 5-round #1 contender fight, Ilia versus Arman, second half of the year. What's the problem with that? And now what you've just said, because he reiterated this in the Instagram live, the winner of this fight is going to fight Ilia. What happens to Arman? Arman's going to have to fight who? What is going on? What does Arman Tsarukyan have to do to get a shot at the belt now?
Ariel Helwani then passionately pointed out that Arman Tsarukyan did everything right to earn his title shot. He patiently waited for his turn. He worked incredibly hard, and then he went out and completely dominated a tough opponent like Dan Hooker with a decisive ground and pound finish. But despite doing all that, he's now been sidelined and isn't even next in line for the title. Helwani heavily criticized the decision to put Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett in the interim title fight, with the winner supposedly facing Ilia Topuria, calling it a frankly ridiculous decision. He expressed his complete surprise that such a matchup is headlining a major pay-per-view card.
Patiently, he went out there, he steamrolled right through Dan Hooker. He did exactly what he had to do. He did what Khamzat and Islam did not do. He finished his opponent on the ground in dominant, impressive fashion. And now what is he? Now he's just floating in the wind. And he's not even next, apparently. Now, of course, everything could change. Nothing really means anything. They make up the rules as they go along. But to put Justin and Paddy in the interim title slot and then have the winner of that fight Ilia is insane to me. And worse than that, because we have seen interim title fights that have felt a little fugazi. I cannot believe that they are headlining this card.
On the other hand, it seems the UFC didn't just make a potential blunder with the UFC 3024 fight card, as a large portion of the fans now believe that the UFC 3025 fight card is also up to be a major disappointment. This card is set to feature the Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez rematch as the main event, and even the MMA pros are absolutely stunned that incredible fighters like Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy are getting completely ignored, despite both of them having perfect unbeaten records inside the UFC. In fact, even Alex Volkanovski's own coach, Joe Lopez, expressed his surprise that Diego Lopez received the title shot over other seemingly more qualified contenders. He admitted it was completely unexpected, as fighters like Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy appeared far more deserving on paper. Lopez was quick to stress that there's no disrespect intended towards Lopez, who is a very skilled fighter, but noted that at the end of the day, the decision rests with the UFC, and now they just have to accept the matchup and focus on preparing for the fight.
When did you guys find out it was going to be Diego Lopez again? What was your reaction that you guys were going to rematch him straight away like this?
I guess it was a bit of a shock, like to anybody, you know, because no disrespect to Diego, because I think he's a great fighter, but we just beat him, you know. Mosvald and Murphy, I think, on paper are probably more deserving of that title shot, but we don't call the shots. That's up to the UFC, and they've given us Diego, so that's the card they've given us, and that's the one we've got to play.
Joe Lopez then explained the timeline of events, revealing that when they first learned the UFC went with Diego Lopez instead of Lerone Murphy, it came as a shock. He said they had initially been told that Murphy was the one who was going to get the next title shot. Then, just about a week or two after Lopez's most recent fight, the UFC suddenly informed them of the switch. This all happened in the context of Volkanovski being set to headline a big December card, meaning all of the original plans were already in place before this last-minute change was made.
How long ago did you find out that it was actually going to be Diego? Because it was supposed to be Murphy initially, right? That's what all the reports were. That's what kind of like Alex was talking about.
Yeah, it was. That's what they'd given us. Probably, I'd say, a week or two after Diego's fight, they put that on the table to us. Because initially we were going to be fighting in December, that we were going to headline this December card, and we were all set.
Volkanovski's coach further explained that their team had initially anticipated that the next title shot would go to one of three people: Movsar Evloev, Lerone Murphy, or the winner of the highly anticipated Murphy versus Pico fight. After Murphy scored that spectacular highlight reel knockout, it seemed absolutely certain that he would get the fight. But then, Diego Lopez went out and got his own standout knockout, and that one performance seems to have shifted the entire decision-making process completely.
It's going to be either Mosvald or Murphy, or the winner out of Murphy and can't remember who
Murphy and Pico, Aaron Pico.
Yes. And so we had that sort of, it was going to be out of Murphy or Pico, maybe a Mosvald, but we didn't really have much hope on that. And then when Murphy had that spectacular KO, we said, yeah, it's Murphy, and all indications and everything, led to Murphy, till Diego had his spectacular KO, and everything changed.
Furthermore, another top fighter, Aljamain Sterling, has openly criticized Diego Lopez getting the title shot, and he's seriously questioning the UFC's criteria for these decisions. While he said he understood that the promotion wants to have champions who represent key markets like Mexico and Brazil, he argued that the organization has clearly shifted its philosophy away from matching the best fighters against the best fighters and is now prioritizing popularity and marketability above all else.
So I'm just trying to make it make sense in my head. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us a champion that could represent Mexico and pretty much Brazil too. It's just, what is the criteria? That is all I want to know. I just want something that when we come into this sport, because I'm now 36, I got into this sport when I was 24. And merit used to mean something for the most part. The UFC used to be the organization, the best fights the best. Now it's, are you the most popular guy? Because if you're the most popular guy and you can fight just a little bit, we'll throw you in there. As long as you can fight a little bit and beat some of the best guys or beat some favorable matchups that people might know, but it's enough for you to get a highlight win, we'll put you in that spot. And hopefully, if you're lucky, we cash out.
Aljamain Sterling didn't hold back, slamming the UFC's recent matchmaking decisions and calling them completely illogical. He pointed out the hypocrisy of fighters constantly being told that the best face the best, yet opportunities for the title aren't always granted based on merit. Sterling highlighted the perfect example of Lerone Murphy, who took a massive high-risk fight against Aaron Pico and knocked him out cold with a spinning elbow, but still somehow missed out on a title shot. He then added a personal note, pointing out that he himself defeated the very same opponent that Diego Lopez beat to earn this title fight, and he did it while injured, yet he received no opportunity himself.
It doesn't make any sense. Because we come in, we are told the best guys will fight the best guys. You eat what you kill. Well, how can you kill something if you're not given the opportunity? Now you have Lerone Murphy, takes a risky fight against a Bellator guy in Aaron Pico. Big risky fight, a guy who can punch his ass off, can wrestle his ass off. Yeah, he might not have ever been the Bellator champ, but he's still a tough out. He knocks him out, spinning elbow. Doesn't get the shot either. I beat Brian Ortega. And you can make all the excuses you want for the win. Literally through a spinning elbow, my arm is dead for the last 2 rounds. 10 minutes. At the end of round 3, meaning rounds 4 and 5, I had 1 arm to fight with. I beat the guy that Diego Lopez beat to get a title shot.
On the other hand, MMA analyst Luke Thomas has strongly criticized the UFC's recent fight announcements, saying that the fans' outrage is completely justified. He argued that these kinds of decisions, which seem to ignore rankings and merit, slowly but surely erode the sport's credibility. Over time, this diminishes the value of the product itself, because the promotion appears to be more focused on generating short-term revenue than on arranging the fights that truly and definitively determine who the best fighter in any given division actually is.
You are going to hollow out your product doing shit like this long enough. It's not just that you're not meeting expectations. You're just not. The fight business has always been one of manipulation. The fight business has always been one of the promoters massaging stuff to get what they want. It's a part and parcel of what they do. This is hardly some new practice, right? But it feels like there are moments in time where you can't really f around with that. And that's kind of what we're getting here. We're getting a lot of that. We're getting fights where there's obvious ways to go a different direction and they just don't go that direction, clearly because they've got some other aim in terms of how they want to generate revenue. They're just extracting wealth out of the bout rather than matchmaking for a real clear sense of who's the best.
MMA Guru also chimed in to criticize the UFC's recent matchmakings, but he questioned their overall approach from a different angle. He noted that no matter what decision the UFC made in this situation, someone was going to be left dissatisfied. If they had chosen Lerone Murphy, for example, there would still be complaints from fans and critics about the quality of his past opponents. Guru stressed that the bigger underlying concern is the sheer number of legitimate deserving contenders in many divisions today, which is a very different landscape from the past, when title opportunities were much more neat and clear-cut.
What are they doing? What are they doing with this? Of all the decisions they could make, there's some that we wouldn't have been happy with. Listen, I understand that, like, no matter what, it wouldn't have been ideal. You pick Murphy to fight. Oh, he ain't beat no one. He's acting like he's Tony Ferguson of the division. There would have been these complaints. Like, oh, what? He fucking took Josh Emmett to a decision? Even though that's how Ilya got his belt. Different Josh Emmett, different circumstance. You have an abundance of people to give a title shot here. It's not just Ilya or nothing, you know? Like it was back then.
So, that's all we have for you in today's video, and hopefully you enjoyed this deep dive into all the recent UFC drama. We want to know what you think, so make sure to share your thoughts about the upcoming UFC fight card down in the comment section below. And if you want to stay on top of all the latest news, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get more updates about everything happening in the world of the UFC.